guys, so if you've been watching my videos that I've been making on religion, about a year ago I started off as saying I'm a Christian, and then I kind of changed to agnostic, and now I'm more skeptic. So through this process, I've criticized Christianity a lot, and a lot of people who watch my videos sometimes take it personally if they're a Christian or they get offended. I'm not trying to bash all Christians, all Christianity, and I want to make that very clear right now. A lot of the videos that I do make on that, I either say this is for the extreme Christians or I talk about things that extreme Christians would do. So don't apply those things to you if you're not that way. It applies to the people who I'm talking about, who I'm complaining about, whether it be against homosexuality or some other radical evangelical viewpoint. If it doesn't apply to you, don't automatically just apply it to yourself. But I'm making this video because a friend of mine that I met at Playlist Live last year wrote me a nice letter on Facebook, and she was really sweet. She wasn't condemning, she wasn't pushy, it was none of that. It was just a heartfelt letter telling me how some of my videos have made her feel. If you want to check out her channel, I'll put a link over here. Make sure you're nice, because she's a really nice lady. But she just wrote me saying that a lot of my videos have kind of offended her, and how she's not one of those extreme Christians, and that she doesn't want to really be labeled as a hateful person because she's a Christian. She said, I want you to know that I'm not one of those extreme Christians you speak of in your videos, and it sort of makes me sad because my heart is filled with love for others, yet I end up being labeled as a hater because I am a Christian. Now, I'm not trying to label you as a hater because you're a Christian, and like I said before, whenever I talk about Christianity, I'm talking about a specific thing that certain Christians do, or a specific subgroup of Christianity, not all Christians in general. But to be fair, a lot of people who are hateful in certain ways claim to be open-minded, and they say, oh, I'm not one of those people, I'm not one of those Christians, but in fact they do have ideas that are kind of like that. For example, I was trying to find a church during that process I was talking about before, from being Christian to agnostic to skeptic, and I was trying to find a place that I felt like I could relate to or fit in, and it seemed like every time I would do that, I would find something, some part of it somewhere that would just not sit right with me. Like either they were against homosexuality, or they said something like, if you're not Christian, you're going to hell, like every other religion. Like I had Muslim friends and they'd be like, well, that's unfortunate, but they're going to hell. Or things like, if you don't believe in Jesus and believe that he's a savior, you're going to hell. Things like that. I mean, you can claim to be open-minded and you can claim to be not one of those hateful Christians, but if you really have beliefs like that, that you are open about and you tell people about and you kind of condemn people, oh, you're not like me, you're going to hell, to me that is pretty hateful. And unfortunately, a lot of people do think that way. They think if you do not agree with them, if you do not accept Jesus, then you are going to hell no matter how good of a person you are. And one thing that I've always kind of said is that if God is real and faith is a prerequisite to heaven, then intelligence and critical thinking will damn you to hell quicker than any sin. And that's something that I've said a lot of different times, word for word, because it's something that I've had to repeat to people so many different times. Then she says she feels bad for God because he does all these wonderful things and people try to act superior and show their Bible muscles, and they act like know-it-alls, and they don't actually have love in their hearts. They ruin the beauty of what has been created. These people she speaks of aren't Christians, wannabes maybe, but not Christians. I guess it all just depends on how you define Christianity. Because whenever I look at different people who are Christians, you could either be the extreme evangelical type, or you could be someone like you, or how I was whenever I identified as a Christian. So I know that there are people out there who say that they're Christian, who aren't hateful, but I find it hard to believe that there are many people out there like that. They've got to have some degree of hate in their heart somewhere, because I've seen it so many times growing up as a Christian. I mean, either it's homosexuality, or it's judging other religions, or it's judging Christians, saying you're not Christian enough, you have to believe in, you have to fully believe in Jesus, it's not good works, it's just faith, and they just have these bickering fights in different denominations, and it's just completely ridiculous. Honestly, I think the shit that I say in my videos that seems to be against Christianity applies to a lot larger portion of people who identify as Christians than you think. I mean, you really are in the minority. People who are truly open-minded who are Christians are in the minority, and if you feel like you're one of those people, I kind of question whether or not you've really done your research into the Bible. Have you really read the entire Bible? Because if you have, I find it hard to believe that you have really accepted all those principles and beliefs and still say that you're a Christian. Unless you pick and choose, which is a whole nother story that's just kind of random. Like I said, I want to have faith, I want to believe that I'm safe, but I want to make sure that the house that I'm living in truly does have a strong foundation, instead of just hoping that it does and believing that it does, whether or not it's truly there. So that's just my opinion. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.